This government, 3 failed budgets in a row, has spent $315 billion. That's $30,000 per household. There is no household in my electorate that feels it is $30,000 better off.
Hughes.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I rise to speak on this matter of public importance. Deputy Speaker, it's now been 2 years since the Albanese Labor Government was elected. Before the election, on the 17th of March 2022, Anthony Albanese said, "A Labor government will lower the cost of living." Let's look at how that has gone over the last 2 years, because we are now in a cost of living crisis and have been for almost the entirety of this government's term. And last week we again saw headline inflation rise to 5% and core inflation to 4.4%. Core inflation has now increased 4 months in a row. It is at its highest level this year. The Labor government's continued failure to get inflation under control is leading to the very real prospect of a rate increase in August. This will then be the 13th under Labor's watch, the 13th in just over 2 years. And, Deputy Speaker, I think it's very important that the link between inflation and interest rates and the government spending is clearly set out. The Reserve Bank raises interest rates when it is not satisfied with the way this government has performed with fiscal policy. This government, 3 failed budgets in a row, has spent $315 billion. That's $30,000 per household. There is no household in my electorate that feels it is $30,000 better off, Deputy Speaker. And so that is because the $315 billion that has been spent by this government has largely been wasteful and unproductive. It has done nothing to improve the lot of Australian people. It has done nothing to improve the lot of households, and it has done nothing to improve the situation for our 2.5 million small businesses in our country. So what we are seeing, if we do get another rate rise, and the Reserve Bank has said the inflation rate is domestically driven, Deputy Speaker. So we want to hear no more nonsense from those on the other side that keep blaming wars overseas for inflation. The inflation is firmly in their hands, and it is their overspending, because that is always, Deputy Speaker, history tells us that is always what happens when we have a Labor government. Always happens. They always lose control of the economy, and this government is no different. So mortgage holders with this cost of living crisis, and I have 22,000 in my electorate, they have paid $35,000 more in 2 years. That is a cost of living crisis, because that is $35,000 they've paid to their banks that they are then unable to spend on a family holiday, on groceries. They are unable to spend that in their local business, going out for dinner. That is the result of what we have seen with this government's overspending. And Australians know that they're in a cost of living crisis, and we can talk big numbers, but let's look at some specifics, Deputy Speaker. In 2 years, for example, insurance is up 27%. We are now seeing more and more people not renewing their medical insurance. Chicken is up 10%, jam 11%, cakes 19%, takeaway food costs 15% more, spirits cost 14% more. Vegetable oil is up 28%. So these are all of these small things that are contributing to this crisis, because when you put all of this together, Deputy Speaker, Australians know each week when they go and get their groceries, they know it's costing them more. And when we've heard this week from those on the other side that there's going to be a soft landing from the 1st of July, I can tell you right now, Deputy Speaker, those in my electorate don't believe it, and those on the other side, they know that those in their electorates also do not believe it, because they are paying the same increases here that my constituents are paying and everybody is paying across the country. Deputy Speaker, we've been asked what we would do. What I'd like to say is this is what we won't do in government. We won't, for example, put on an extra 36,000 public servants, and it hasn't been explained exactly what these public servants are going to be doing. We won't be doing that, Deputy Speaker. We will be getting inflation under control. We will be pursuing an energy policy that will deliver cheaper, cleaner and consistent energy. Deputy Speaker, this is a cost of living crisis that's been brought about by this Albanese Labor government.
Member for Ben.